Hello, Katie here from Katie's World. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to assemble page kit number 111, A Magical Christmas. And I'm just going to walk you through it step by step on how to put this kit together. If you don't already have this kit and you'd like to pick one up, please check the description box below. There'll be a link to my shop where you can order your kit today. And let's go ahead and get started. So in your kit, you're going to find some pre-traced pieces. Now I've already cut mine. I'm just going to give you one example. I've already cut it, but on the back you will find a black line where you'll just take your scissors and go ahead and cut along that line. Now these measure 12 inches, but you're going to need to trim it down 1/8 of an inch on each side. Now you can do 1/4 of an inch just on one side only because it needs to measure 11 3/4. However, just for symmetry, I like to cut 1/8 of an inch off each side, and I am using this large Fiskars cutter. It's just my favorite cutter to use. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I'm just going to cut one. I've already cut and inked all the other ones just for time's sake. I'm going to do one for you just so you can see how I like to do it. So I'm putting this up to 1/8 of an inch from the 12. That's two little tiny lines on there. I know you probably can't see it on here. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So you're just going to press it up against that bar so that it's straight and go ahead and trim it off. Okay, so now I want to cut the other side. What you can do is you can either flip it over and go right here, or you can just bring it down to the bottom bar. And that kind of takes it off camera. Let's see if I can move it a little bit up, but you get the idea. Okay, so now we're going to put it at the 11 3/4 mark down here. Make sure that it's flat against the bar. Hold it in place. I like to hold down this plastic bar too. Just helps hold that paper down. Just make sure your fingers aren't over too much because of the blade. You're going to trim it off. Okay, so now this measures 11 3/4. So I'm done with my trimmer, but again, you're going to have to do that with all of your pieces that have been traced for you. And I'm going to take black ink pad. In this case, I am using the Lawn Fawn brand, and it is jet black. Now you can use any black ink pad and dauber that you have on hand. And inking is always optional, of course. You don't have to ink. I just think it gives it a nice little framed edging around the sides. Now with inking, there's not really any right or wrong way. What I like to do, as you can see, I just kind of go along the edges here. Now if you want more ink on, you kind of make this more flat with the paper. If you want less ink, then you make it more at a 90-degree angle. So just whatever your preference is. I like to see a little bit more of that ink on there. Now, as I'm handling the paper, you can see it kind of crinkles it just a little bit, but that's just fine because once I glue it down, it will go back to being flat. Okay, we're all done, and let's see if you can kind of see the difference there with that nice edge. It just gives that really nice finished look. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put my ink away. I've already inked all of my other pieces, so I'm just going to bring them in here. And take this off. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is adhere your background. Again, I have inked the edges of the background piece. Now you will need to trim this. It'll tell you in your instructions what you're going to trim it down to. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the glue. Now, this is a really thick cardstock, so I'm going to be using my liquid adhesive. This is the Art Glitter brand Designer Dries Clear. If I was using a thinner piece of paper, I would not necessarily recommend this because then you might see the glue lines on the thinner papers. Then I would use a dry adhesive, actually. So you can use score tape, Tombow tape runner, whatever your preference is on that. Now this is a quick drying glue. So since I have a large surface to cover, I need to be fairly quick with this or it's going to dry before I can get it down. And like I said, you can also use a dry adhesive. Like score tape is a really good one to use. But I do like the liquid glue when I can use it, because then I know it's not going to fall off with time or different temperatures. Sometimes it gets too hot or too cold, the dry adhesive will just come off. So just to be sure. So that's it. So you got that done. Now you give it, it gives it a nice even 1/8 inch border all around the side. I like to do that, just frames out my page. So now I'm going to go ahead with these pieces here that I've already cut out, and again it's going to have the line for you on the back. You just got to use your scissors and cut that out. Pretty easy. And then you're just going to trim it to 11 3/4, ink your edges, and now I'm going to glue them down like they are pockets. I may or may not be tucking things under, but this gives me that option. If I decide to tuck any kind of elements or photo mats underneath, it's not fully glued down. So as you can see, I just did the sides, the straight edges. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up in the corner here. And just guide it all the way down, making sure it all lines up perfectly. Looks just like this. See if I can give you a close-up there. And you can see that the inked edge as well. I definitely really like that. But like I said, you don't have to have it. If you don't have ink on hand, or you just want to get it done quickly, then you can skip the inking part, and gives it a nice clean look too without the ink. Okay, again, I'm doing this as a pocket. You don't need to for this piece because this is actually where the title is going to go. So I'm not going to be tucking anything under, but I still like to do it as a pocket, just in case I change my mind while I'm putting my page together. Beautiful. Okay, see that? Now to create these, I did use the Kiwi Lane templates. Those are definitely one of my favorites. I love to use Kiwi Lane templates in tracing those. So if you don't have any of those, I highly recommend checking them out. They have all different designs. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the photo mats. Okay, now with my photo mats, I have added a sheet of white cardstock. That's only because I don't have my photos right now, and I like to put these in place just so that you can see what it would look like with the border if your photo was on here. So there's not going to be any white cardstock in your kit. That just represents the photo. So I've already stuck down this one, and I just left this one blank so you can see how I do it. Now this is temporary, so once I'm ready to put my photos in, I'm going to go ahead and just peel this one off. So I just want to put a tiny bit of adhesive in the middle. I just do like a little X with the glue. Now the reason I'm using this permanent liquid glue is because I have used repositionable dry adhesive, I've used permanent dry adhesive, and they do tend to fall off because I'm just putting a little bit in there. So with doing just a little dot in the middle with the permanent glue, I can carefully rip it off, and it's okay if it tears the paper a little bit because it's going to be covered with a photo. So there you go. That gives you the nice border. Now in this kit, you're going to have green and red photo mats. Just kind of mix it up. That's really nice. So this is going to actually tuck under here. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I want to slide this down just enough where I don't see the bottom of this photo mat. So right there. And that's why it's also good to have the white on there, because then you know you get it just enough to cover that photo. And I'm not going to glue just yet. I want to slide this one under as well. And what I'm doing is I'm looking here, and I want to make, I want to look at my spacing, and I'm going to go ahead and even this out just a bit. Now you can see this is going to cover the photo quite a bit here on the bottom corner, but if when you go to pick out your photos, look for something that has more of what you want to feature in the picture right here, and then just a little background noise in the picture on this side, and then it'll be just fine. So I just want to center this, and what I'm doing is I'm looking at these three spaces and just centering. Okay, so there we go. So now that I have it where I want it, I'm going to go ahead. Now I want to leave one photo mat in place so I can see the width that I'm going for. Or actually, I'll just be centering it there. So now I want to place this whole thing down. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. I like to keep my glue approximately 1/8 of an inch away from the edge so it doesn't ooze out. And if it does, it dries clear, so it's okay. Okay, so I'm just going to slide it in here. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stick this one down now. And what you could do, so if you are worried about this covering your picture too much, you don't have to tuck your photo under. Remember, this is your page. If you don't like something about the way I did mine, feel free, go ahead and change it. That's what we're all about, creativity, making it your own. So if you want this to go on top of the decorative paper, that is totally fine. It's gonna look beautiful. So let's see, now that's it for the photo mats on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my title. Now I do have videos on my YouTube channel as well on paper piecing and putting all these together. So I've already put them together. So for sake of time for this assembly video, however, I did film that. So those videos are on there if you would like to see a step-by-step how to put these together. So the first thing we need to put down is our banner. So I'm just going to look and see how far from the top I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to kind of lay it here. Now I'm centering it, looking here at these points, and you want to make sure it's straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick this on, just looking. Now I've already put the foam squares. I'm going to be gluing the banner on flat with the liquid glue, and I'm going to be placing this raised with the foam squares. So I like to just place it where I'm going to be putting it first, and I think that looks good. That way I know if I need to move the banner down a little more or not, but I really like how that's looking right now. So I'm gonna go ahead, before I do that, let me bring in, you're gonna get a baggie of accessories, little holly leaves, holly berries, flourishes, and gold stars. I'm gonna do something. So I think this is gonna work. So let me go ahead and glue the banner down. Now, like I said, that could have just, those two pieces could have just been glued down completely flat. But at the same time, I kind of like how they're lifting a little bit at the bottom because they're not all the way glued down. So it gives it a little extra dimension. Speaking of dimension, if you really want to pop it up, you can put foam squares under there, foam tape, as opposed to liquid glue, and really raise the dimension of those strips. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to center it. I'm wondering if, oh, I think I went too high. I want to cover the bottom of this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the bottom of that border strip, the striped one, I don't want any of it sticking out down here. I want it to look like the banner just hanging below that. Okay, so now I've got that stick down. I can go ahead and place my title on now. Just going to remove all of this. Now, if I had the tape roll, on hand, I would have used that because that would have been quicker. Okay, and then I just want to quickly look and make sure I got all of the tape backing. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. Now I want to center it. Oh, that doesn't quite look centered. Maybe I should have had the banner down a little more. See right here, I could have brought the banner down another 1/4 of an inch at least. But that's okay. I'm looking at the L and the M, try to make sure it's straight. I think that looks all right. Okay, now I'm going to go in with some flourishes. Now you can put these wherever you like. Be creative. I'm just going to place, let's see, I know this should have been done a little. I do recommend bringing this down a little bit more, but that's okay. It's not going to, once I'm all done, nobody's going to know what, it's not going to look bad at all. Okay, so I like where these are. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. Now, see right here, you don't want to put any glue if it's going to overlap a photo. So what I like to do is I'll tuck a little piece of paper or tape, like I'm using my foam square sheet there. And I'm just going to hold that so I know not to put glue right there. Okay. This I'm going to put, I don't know exactly how I had it. I don't know. How about like that? I'm going to do that. Remember, there's no right or wrong. Just stick it down wherever you like. Okay, this is not covering any photos, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. So now I want to do a gold star. I'm going to do a large gold star right up here. And a smaller one right here. This is where we're just creating layers of dimension. All right, this is gonna go here. Now, if you're wondering, all of the pieces that I'm using for this kit, these were from Miss K Cuttables. Excuse me. So yeah, she has some beautiful cut files. If you do your own cutting, that's where these came from. Excuse me. So yes, I'd like to thank her for that. All right. I made a little smudge right there with the glue. It got dirty, so I'm trying to cover that. I think I'm just going to do that right there. Now that's going to go on the photo, so I'm not going to put glue down there. Okay, and you might be saying, well, you're covering your flourish, but that's okay because, like I said, we're just adding layers, adding dimension. You don't necessarily need to see every part of it. Okay, so now I'm gonna do another large star. And this is gold glitter paper. Cuts absolutely beautifully on the Cricut. It's a company called Ella and Viv, the paper that I use. You see, I'm just having fun with it here. So like I said, you can place them however you want. Okay, now we need a couple of holly berries. So let's see, this one I've already got some foam squares. I'm going to put some on this one. I just want to show you when you're, if you need to cut your foam squares. So they do sell different sizes of foam squares. However, I just use this one size. So when you want to cut it with your scissors, do not remove it and then cut. You will get that sticky on your scissors. So leave it on the paper backing and go ahead and cut it on there, and you won't get the sticky on your scissors. Now I'm going to do two little ones there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this, cut it right down the middle. One there and one there. Go ahead and remove the tape backing. Okay, this is going to go right on the holly leaves like that. There is no perfect way to do it. You just stick it down. It looks beautiful. All right. So this page is not done. I have some mouse ears to put on here. We need to fill in this gap. Now you can use this for journaling. You can, this is a great place to put the year. If you have some number stickers you want to add, you can put the ear or some die cutting there. I think that's a great idea. I might do that with mine. So I'm going to go ahead and, no, I just took all these off without looking to see if it's going to overlap the photo, but let's see, we won't have it overlap too much. Anyway, since it's already overlapped there, I don't want to cover too much of that picture, but I don't want it that high because it's too, well, there we go. Did I stick it? I did, I don't know. I think that's good. Okay, so this, I don't know. It's too high for me. I hope I didn't mess this up. Sometimes I put too much thought into things, and other times I don't put enough. Okay, so I'm centering it from this photo mat to the bottom, the top of this photo mat to the bottom of that banner. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm making sure this is covering the photo all the way there, and it's at an angle. Stick it down. Okay, I like that. Yeah, and it's not sticking onto there. Okay, so that kind of fills in that space there, but you still have room if you'd like to do a little bit of journaling, add a tag. You can even write the year down here, do some journaling down here as well. So I'm going to give you a full view, and I'll do a little bit of close-up before we move on to the next page. Okay, so our left side is done. We're going to go ahead and now work on the right. All right, so same thing. I'm going to glue all these pieces down. I should have done that for you already. All right, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, again, I'm just going to glue the sides, the straight edges, so it's like a pocket. Same thing with this one. Now, there, as you can see, like the presents are right side up, the ornaments are hanging this way. So these pieces are similar to what's on the left page, but to be sure you have them on the correct side, make sure these are right side up when you put them, because as you can see, it looks similar, but the ornaments would be hanging upside down. So make sure you have the correct piece on each side before you glue them down. And if you're not sure, you can even look on the back. You can see there's some words there, you can tell. It would have been easier if I turned this around, but I didn't think about it. All right, that's good. Okay, so now we've got our background in. Let's do our photos. So this one is actually going to tuck under the front border strip. This one's going to go right on top, and this one's also going to go right on top. So let's just place them. I'm going to put this one about 1/4 of an inch away. Oh, can you see your mouth? I'm going to place this one about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge of the background paper. And then I'm going to just slide down just enough until that photo, the white cardstock or your photo, disappears. Okay, so 1/4 of an inch away and just right there. Okay, now this one, I think I'm going to do like that. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay. And it's about 1/4 of an inch away again. Now this one I'm going to center on the left and the right, and then make this 1/4 of an inch from this one, so it has a little bit more room on top instead of centering it. Just changes it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm centering it left to right, but 1/4 of an inch from the red photo mat. Okay, photo mats are on. And it looks like I've only got about 4 more minutes left on my camera. So I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this in 4 minutes. So I'm just going to quickly show you. Again, I put pop-ups on here, so I'm going to give you the placement. And again, you don't want to leave the tape backing where the pop-ups overlap your photo, you can always remove those after you put your photo down. If your photo is already in place when you're doing this, then go ahead and remove all the tape back and you can glue it down to your picture. So how it's gonna go, I'm just gonna lay them out real quick for the sake of time since I am running out of room on my camera. I'm just going to show you how these are going to go. So I'm going to place that there, and you'll receive a picture with your kit as well to show the finished look. I seem to have an extra one. Wait a minute. Oh, I had one more on the other page I forgot to put down. Okay, yeah, there's another one. And then the berries. And then the gold stars. So you'll find a picture in your instructions. You'll see that there's one more flourish. That's going to be on the other page. I'm going to do these. I'm just going to lay them out real quick without glue so you can see. Wait, no, I'm missing another big star. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, it's supposed to be another big star right there. Let me go ahead and glue. I'm going to glue this one down, the one I missed. So this is going to go right here. So I'm going to just put, let's see where I am on time. Okay, maybe 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, if you like this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please click that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you tuning in to my channel. And have a great day.